You worry. I know you worry. That's why you're listening to this podcast right now. The headline got you. Worry, stress, anxiety. We all go through it. And my question is, how many nights of your life have you lost to something that never, ever even happened?
Connecting the dots, connecting his guests to the world, creating more connections. Welcome to The Connection. Meet your host, author, coach, Air Force veteran, Jay Miralles.
I can tell you, I know so many times in my life, what if I don't get the job? What if this doesn't happen? What if I don't get the next thing? What if I don't get the next project? What if I don't sell this? What if it doesn't go through? What if this candidate doesn't, think highly of me? What if my friends are thinking about this? What if the money's not enough? What if my car isn't good enough? What about my clothes, my shirt, my tie doesn't match? All those things. We overhyped it in our head. And today, I want to talk about worry, not from a textbook, from but my own personal experience, from a little bit of psychology and a little bit of real life. Now, I'm not telling you that I'm some psychology major or a doctor. I'm going to leave those to professionals, but I am going to tell you what I've been taught, what I've been shared, and what helps. 9 out of 10 things we stress about never happen, but our bodies react like it will. So let me say that again. 9 times out of 10, we react to things that will never, ever happen, but our bodies react like it's going to happen, which is worse. So when people say, does stress and worry and anxiety make you sick? It physically makes you sick. It mentally makes you sick. It robs you of a peaceful and a life of clarity. Right. I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life better with 10 points. No, I'm trying to tell you how relatable this is. I want you to find some action items and I want you to practice them today. So, worry is a weakness. It's wiring. Okay. No, worry is not a weakness. It's the way we're wired. Yeah. Let me break it down. The alarm system. Okay. Your amygdala. The amygdala is the part of the brain that's designed to sense danger, right? Something hot, an animal running after you, when you're about to get into an accident. It's your built-in security guard. It's your brain guarding the body from harm, right? But here's a problem. It can't tell the difference between, let's say, a real threat, which is a car swerving towards you, or a perceived threat. What if I lose this deal? What if I don't get the job? See, the amygdala doesn't know that, but your body reacts the same way. Think about that for a second. Your body doesn't know, your amygdala doesn't know if a car's swerving into you or if you're worried about, if you're worried about something that, like having enough money or whatever. You worry, and those things trigger the amygdala. Then your body goes into like a fight or flight freeze response. Fight or flight. And we freeze. We lock up. We start doing things physiologically, right? That release hormones adrenaline and cortisol. You know, your heart speeds up. Okay. Your muscles tighten up. You get tense. Your breathing gets really shallow. What should I do? I don't know. And then you start spinning and your thoughts get faster and faster. And then this is why worry feels physical, because it is. See, worry's just not here. Worry makes your heart go brrr, makes your muscle tense up. Sometimes you grind your teeth, or you have little tics or little habits. Some of you bite your nails. Your breathing gets shallow, and then you start hunching over, and Oh no, then your thoughts get fast. What if this? What if that? Oh no, they're not going to like me. All those things go through. Man, that just made me stress out thinking about that, right? And let me tell you why the brain loves worst case scenario. The brain loves worst case scenario because, first of all, your brain is not designed to make you happy. It's designed to keep you alive. Your brain is not wired for happiness. It's wired for survival. Okay. Your brain is constantly scanning for danger or discomfort or, hey, how's this? Okay, is this comfortable? Is the temperature okay? Is there any threats around? Do I feel, good here? Is my back to the wall? Can I see the room? Um, am I crossing the street? All those things, right? It's a leftover instinct from when we lived in the wild. That's how we evolved. That's where we came from. Thousands and thousands of years ago, imagining the worst case scenario kept you alive. Today, it just keeps you awake. Think of this. It was instinct to survive, to live off the land, to hunt, or be hunted, to not have all these amenities. And today, your stress or your worst case scenario just keeps you awake. That's what the function is. You know, The imagination misfire is what I call it. Worry is imagination plus fear. Your mind gets the best of you. Oh boy, we got some great imaginations, right? We like to conjure things up from past experiences, shared experiences, influence of others. Oh, so and so said the economy's going down. I think the economy's going down. My cube mate said that our 401k is going to go away. Oh, someone said that you should not put your money in this, and all the things and all the advice and all the movies and all the TV and all the news that we consume plays into your imagination. Okay. But imagination is also a gift, means that you can control your imagination. What if I do get this job and things work out great? What if I do get the job and I'll be able to buy that thing? What if I do and I'll be able to retire earlier? What if so and so actually and I strike a deal? What if I become friends with this group of people? What if I get accepted into the club that I'm applying for? What if I win first place? But there's a cost. There's a cost of recycled thoughts. Studies show that most people repeat the same 12 to 15 anxious thoughts over and over. The same 12 to 15 over and over. Okay. We think we're solving problems when we're worrying. No, we're actually just looping them. We're magnifying the problems. See, when you run into people, you're like, wow, they're so positive. They're so optimistic. Do you know why that is really valued? It's because most people aren't that way. Wow, that person's real. And then sometimes people often look at positive people and say, well, look at them. How could they? Ugh. It's because that's the way you're wired. If you're one of those people that think, oh man, there's no way Jay can be that positive. There's no way that he could think of optimistically like that. Man, he's kind of delusional. You are right. I am delusional. I am optimistic. I am positive because I've been through hard times that have defined who I am. I mean, there are things around you that you can find the inspiration in and make you worry less. And if my story's not enough, there's other people that I can draw from. M- You know, let me make this relatable. Why is this so relatable to you and I right now? Because worry is universal. Parents feel it. Business leaders feel it, young adults, kids, veterans. It doesn't discriminate. Worry doesn't hit one social class in particular. It affects every living human being. You know, some common triggers, that you can relate to is money. You worry about money, too much, too little, not enough, how much it costs, all those things, right? That have to do with money, the value, inflation, the interest rate. I mean, I can go on just about money, right? The finance, how much you're getting ripped off. And oh, when you're buying something, is it worth the value? That's just money. Someone owes you, you owe me, you got to borrow it, you got to pay it back. My mortgage is this much. I'll never pay it off. It's 30 years long. My car note, I've traded, I'm upside down. That's just money. Some other people are work performance. They worry about their work performance. They show up. They do what they're supposed to do. They go above and beyond. They still worry. They do the emails at home. They do the emails on their phone. They do the emails while they're driving. They do the emails, at night. They do the emails on the toilet when they're sitting on the toilet with their phone, which they shouldn't do. That's just the emails. Does my boss think I'm good? Does a customer think I'm good? Is my job going to be here tomorrow? Is our company going under? Are we getting acquired? I heard so and so. Like there's so many things just about work. Here's another one, someone else's opinion. Oh, don't tell me that you can't relate to someone, because when someone gives you an opinion, you either value it or you really put weight into it. And sometimes you say, well, I don't really care what people think. Yeah, you do. You do. To a degree. Some of you more than others. But someone's opinion of you is one opinion. Usually you know more than one person. So let me give you a good example. If you've got 20 friends and one person in your friend group or in your sphere says, I don't like you, I can hardly tolerate you. Okay. I was at a gathering the other day and it was a birthday party. And I saw many of my friends there, some of my tribe even from the 50-mile march. And I saw someone there who doesn't agree with me. Matter of fact, I can see the disdain on their face when I greet them. I love it, by the way. It used to bother me, but my job on this earth is not to get everyone to love me. My job on this earth is to serve as many people as I can, and my purpose and clarity is clear. That's why I'm comfortable. Now, does it bother me a bit? Does it make me want to make amends? Does it make me want to have them in a favorable light? Yes, I still want to respect. I still want to show a little bit of grace, but I'm not going to entertain that person to make them write me a note on how great I am. I would die in a spiral just trying to think of how to make that person like me. Family. Ooh, family. Family, stress, worry, anxiety. Oh, mother-in-law, father-in-law, cousin, sister, brother. Oh, that's just sibling rivalry. Oh, they fight like they're cousins. They're just competitive with each other. I don't like it. Here's what I mean by that. Family's the last thing that we should be stressing or worrying about. We should support family. It's not just family by blood, it's family by marriage, it's family by proximity. Unfortunately, we don't we don't connect enough until something bad happens, till tragedy strikes. And that's a whole nother podcast within itself. I love to say that in my podcast. That's a whole nother episode. But family stresses you and worries you. Approval, health. Man, I can't tell you how much stress and pressure people put on themselves for health. It's because they want to look a certain way. They want to have a certain thing. They want to be in tip-top shape. In 2 years, they're gonna. Next year, they're turning X. They want to do it before then. They got a New Year's resolution. Like, they just worry about it. They do nothing about it, right? They Google WebMD. They ask their friends. They put it on the internet. Prayer warriors, pray for me because this little spot on my... And then, guess what? You see the follow-up. Oh, it was nothing. Thank you all. God is good. I'm not making fun. I'm saying it's a pattern. It is glaring. Here's another thing, a mistake you made. That's a point of contention for me sometimes where I say, okay, mistakes are good and they're bad, but mistakes are good when you learn from them. Oh, if I make a mistake, people will think, oh my gosh, here's one thing. Oh, I don't want to make a mistake. I need to know everything before I do my job or before I get to do this or before I volunteer. I need to know everything. No, you don't. Because if you need to know everything about that you are going to do, guess what? You're just going to hurt yourself. You're just going to be in a worse place. You're never going to start, you know? I would rather you make a mistake doing something than not doing anything and that be the mistake. Future uncertainty. We're uncertain about the future. Guess what? If I could control it, I'd worry more about it. I can only do what I can do right now. Most people listening, you have never been taught what stress actually is. They just think it's something's wrong with them. I'm stressed. I'm stressed. They talk about a condition, right? Nothing's wrong with you. Your brain is doing exactly what it was intended for, right? Your brain's doing the work. Here, here's a technique that changed my life. I did this for a while and I don't need to do it anymore because one, I got tired of doing the exercise because I'm like, I was worrying. And then guess what? The crap that I worried about, nothing ever happened. So step one is write down 2 or 3 things that you're worried about right now, right? Name it so you can tame it. You can't fight shadows. You can't, well, what if? Okay, write it down. I'm worried about this big sale. I'm worried about getting this job. I'm worried about my son getting into football. I'm worried about, how people think that this. I'm worried about the big event that's happening that I'm not going to have enough food for it. Just write it down. Write it down. Okay. Some other examples like, is this deal going to go sideways? What if I'm not enough? What if my kid is struggling? Like all the what ifs. What if worms had machine guns? Birds wouldn't mess with them, right? Some of you have heard me say that. Why writing these things down works. First of all, pencil, paper. We're tactile people. We write it down. Writing moves the thought from emotion brain to logical brain. When you write it down, it goes from the emotional part of the brain to the logical side of the brain. When you write it down, you're like, not enough food for party coming up Thanksgiving. Oh, well, shoot. Maybe I should order more. Okay. See, it makes it logical. The emotional brain reacts, the logical brain evaluates. Thanksgiving, it's going to be a wreck. Well, why? Food. Well, why don't I just spend a little bit more for food? Why don't I gather some more RSVPs? Why don't I verify if these people are actually showing up? Again, the moment you write it down, you take power back. See, the problem is when you worry, you go into a spin. You're like, you're shallow breathing. You're like, oh no, you impose it on other people, and they're like, man, people don't like to be around people that worry because one, they're worried for them, and then they get sucked into the worry as well, and everyone stresses out. Now, step 2 is to revisit that in 24 to 72 hours. So that little piece of paper, keep it in your pocket, put it somewhere, right? Write it um onto a sticky note, stick it on the computer that you're listening to on right now or at your desk. And this step is important because this is evidence that you can actually see with your logical brain that your evidence destroys anxiety. Most of the time you realize it never happened. It wasn't as bad as you thought. You handled it. It passed. Man, I forgot about it. And step 3 is to build a proof folder, like have a folder of these things you write in, or, like in this electronic world, we're writing down, there's an app for this, there's an app for that. Listen, folks, old school, take all those things and put it in the folder, right? And over a week or 2 or 3, one is I hope you get sick of the exercise. And if you look at all the things you worried about, 90% of the things that you feared never happened in the last 2, 3 weeks, last 4 weeks, last 5 weeks. Okay? The 10% that do, you handled them better than you thought. You made it through. You actually figured it out. It wasn't as hard as you made it to be. Your body reacted to your stomach got sick for no reason. Your blood pressure went up. You got lightheaded. You got migraines. Your eyes hurt. You know, step 4 is to redirect the energy. Worry is energy with no direction. Give it direction. Movement is medicine. I say ruck. I've been rucking for 6 years now, for at least 3 times a week, 750 miles a year on average. When I move, I worry less. Usually when I'm with people, I feel connected and energized. When was the last time you were working out and worried? Never. I don't think I was ever worried when I ruck because I'm such in a zone of applying pressure on myself on purpose. So later on, life will be easier. The harder I make my life, or the harder I put myself through challenges through, the more difficult the challenge, the pressure I put on myself makes the harder things that show up even easier for me. Taking the next step, right? Oh, what if what if I ask them and they say no? Ask them, because the answer is always no until you ask. Take the next step. Take the next step. Do what you're worried about, or do something that you're worried about. Back to Thanksgiving. Okay, I don't think I'm going to have enough food. Write down a list, count that as many people, budget for those, and you go, oh yeah, that's crazy. I mean, half a pound of ham for everyone, and there's 10 people showing, it's 10 pounds. Okay, problem solved. Well, what if they don't like this? What if they don't like that? You know what? They're not coming over their house to approve or disapprove of your dinner. And if they are, they're not the right opinions to have of your dinner. I can go into a whole nother episode for that. Calling somebody, call someone and tell them what you're worried about, and don't don't worry with them. Don't complain with them. Just go, hey, I want to borrow some of your courage or some of your strength right now. I've got something big happening in the next 2 weeks. I'm applying for a job that I hope I get. Can you help me? I mean, when you frame it like that, they will reciprocate to you what you need. If these are good people, they will challenge you. Prayer, meditation. I can't emphasize that enough. And I'm not talking about like, oh God, please help me not stress. Or if it's meditation, meditate on what it feels like or what it's going to feel like. I almost say manifest on a good outcome. You know what? When I get the job or when I get the deal, this is what people will say. I knew you could do it, Jay. I knew you had it within you the whole time. I was thinking about you the other day and I was going to congratulate you early, but I knew you'd get it. That's what people are going to say. Jay, I wasn't surprised. Jay, you deserve that. Manifest those things, focusing on what you can control. Okay. About the job. Let's talk about the job. Can you show up looking professional? If it's Zoom, can you make the background look professional? If it's things that you have to prepare, do you have time to prepare? Did you prepare questions for the interviewer? After the interview, did you write a card? Did you follow up with an email? Did you ask good questions? Did you research? Okay. Creating a plan. Most people fly by the seat of their pants, and some see success. Man, they would 10x their success if they just had a plan or something to follow. Because 9 times out of 10, when you are doing something good, you forget the pattern sometimes because of worry. Your worry stops the pattern of good, stops your momentum, stops that everything you touch turns into gold and everything you touch turns into mold when you don't write things down, when you don't have a process. Because as human beings, we're we're inconsistent sometimes. Um, why does this work physiologically when you do prayer, taking the next step, focusing on things you can control, rucking, creating a plan? Taking action reduces cortisol. Movement, like me when I ruck, it increases dopamine and endorphins. Makes me feel good. Breathing slows down the amygdala, the thing that scans for danger, right? It slows it down. Hold up. Is what I'm thinking really true? What's the worst case scenario? I run out of food. I can order pizza. And everyone will say, you know what? It's cool, Jay. You didn't know. Whatever. Writing activates problem solving regions, right? When you write something down in your brain, when you write it down, you're getting logical, less emotional, and your brain starts to solve the problem. But when it's spinning around in your head, it's like air traffic control took a break and all these planes are flying around, right? It's dangerous. There's 3 layers of control. Layer 1, things that you can control, okay? Your effort. You can control how much effort you put into something. 2 is you control your attitude. What is your mindset? What is your attitude when it comes to losing or winning or the outcome? Or when you fall down, oh, I fell down. Somebody help me. It hurts. Look at me. I fell. Look at me. No, no. My attitude is this. I'm going to fall 8 times. I'm going to get up 9. And if I fall 9, I'm going to get up 10. And if I fall down 10, I'm going to get up 11. That's just the attitude. Your preparation, you can control how much you prepare. Sometimes worry, stress, and anxiety come from things that you know you should be doing and you don't do it. And that's why you stress about it. A to-do list in your brain does you no good. Your response, you can control how you respond. I promise one of the things that I love doing is I'm usually the one in the restaurant that when the server doesn't show up right away or when I don't care, man. I don't care. There's worse things in life. They're 4 minutes. Oh, so they didn't greet us right away with waters right away. So what? Taking control of the environment, you know, your habits. You can control your habits, the things that you started, the things that you put together, the things that you practice every day. And then you can control the next step. That's layer 1, things you can control. Layer 2 is things that you can influence, having conversations with the people, setting the expectations. Team outcomes, you have influence over your team's outcome. Your relationships, those are mission critical. Relationships are critical when it comes to the things you worry about because if I need something or need help or there's worry, I have an army of people that I can call on, not just to give me things, but to challenge me with things. Perhaps sometimes to balance the load, perhaps bounce an idea off of, or maybe just call them and talk some sense into me, right? Relationships and decisions that I can guide. That's things I can influence, right? There's things that I've poured into other people and I believe that I can influence over them if I need this outcome because I've poured into them, right? Because I've made deposits into their bank. And now I'm just asking for a little bit of reciprocity. But those are the things that you influence. That's layer 2. Layer 3, things you do not control. You got to know this layer. You do not control other people. No, no, no. You can't. And if you can, let me know. I will hire you to control a whole lot of people. Sorry, you can't. You can influence them, you can give them choices, you can give them buy in, or they can buy out, but you cannot control them. Controlling people is the last thing I want to do because if you have to control them, that means they're always going to tell you what you want to hear and you're never going to grow. You can't control the past. It already happened. You can't go back. Well, what if I would have done this? This would have happened. What if I would have showed up with this? What if I would have done 2 instead of 3? What if I did 3 instead of 2? Like it's in the past. You got to move on. Can you learn from it? Sure. You can't also control the outcome. You can prepare, you can go through the process, you can do things the right way, and then whatever the outcome is, what the outcome is. Okay? You can influence the outcome, but you can't control it. Can't control timing sometimes when something happens. You can't always, well, when I have the food truck and this, and when I have everything, then I'm going to start my business of a food business or a food truck business. Sometimes you got to start scrappy and agile. You just got to start. I'm going to wait until all the things are perfect. Sorry, you're going to sit there and wait and worry forever. Things you don't control, especially, are the economy and the market. I don't want to control the economy. If the economy says, hey, in the past, you had to mail 10 of these things to get one outcome, and today it's 25 things and to mail out to get out. Okay, I just need to know what the process is. What are the numbers? What are the actions? I can control that. But too often when things change or get more difficult or evolve, let me ask you this. You want to buy a house for $99,000 today? No, you don't, because you don't want your $499,000 house to be devalued. Okay. Back in the day, if you bought a house for $99,000, chances are it's worth 100, 150, $200,000 more than when you bought it. Things grow, things change. Traffic, you can't control traffic. I love this. I love this so much. I love when people say, hey, I'm late because traffic, or what if it's so far? You can't control it. Here in Omaha, I don't worry. Either it's going to be another 6 to 7 minutes or just a few more minutes out of the way. We're a 20, 30-minute town. I'm not worried about traffic. We worry about traffic though, because we can't, because we can't control it. Delays. Can't control a delay, and I can't control other people's opinion of me. Again, I can try to make an outcome. I can help, but can't do that. When things you do not control in that layer show themselves, and that's where you spend your time, anxiety lives in layer 3. Peace lives in layer 1, things you can control. So remember that. Anxiety lives in layer 3, things you do not control. And I'll put all those in the notes. Things you can control: your effort, attitude, preparation, response, habits, your next step. That's where peace lives. Clarity, positivity. How to reset your nervous system. Okay. I mean, simple ways to calm the body so the brain can follow. You can actually induce your brain into a more relaxed state if your body forces it. So one of the ways, you can just step away from what you're worrying about, deep breathe, taking a breath, let it out. It slows down the amygdala. It slows down the scanning system, right? From scanning for danger. It re-engages logic, because have you ever caught yourself almost like a bumbling fool and I almost feel like someone should slap me in the face and go, what was that for? Oh, okay. You want to slap some logic into me. All right. Cold exposure, you know, when your body shivers, it shocks you out of spiraling, whether it's stepping out into the cold, getting some fresh, crisp air, or ice plunges, all right? Plunging into a cold plunge. It shocks you out of spiraling. Your body just goes, wish I could do that again. Movement. You can't worry with the same intensity when your body is moving. When you're sitting still and you're hunched over and you're like, oh man, things are going to go really bad, versus rucking, pushing yourself hard, putting a little bit of stress on the body, stress on the legs, carrying a little weight. The intensity of your worry is not the same while you're moving. Movement is medicine. Grounding exercises. Feel your feet on the ground. Where are you right now? Like, just plant your feet on the ground. Notice your surroundings. Um, it helps you to be more present here versus going, oh my gosh, what am I going to do next Friday? What am I going to do next Thursday? I am so worried about 9:30 tonight. Just be present right where you're at. Because if you are in the present, there's usually less panic. I want to empower you to take back your peace. You have to do something about this to worry and stress and have less anxiety. Your mind has lied to you way more than any other person will. Your mind has tricked you, it's fooled you, it's told you things that are not the truth, but you believe them to be so because it's your mind telling you based on your imagination. Worrying is not insight, it's imagination pointed at fear. So when you worry, you're not like giving yourself any more insightful intel or insightful information. You're just you're having imaginary thoughts coupled with fear, and when that happens, it compounds. So tonight, here's the challenge again. Write down two or three things that you're worried about. Come back to them in a couple days, and then give yourself proof that those things didn't matter, that they didn't happen the way you thought they were going to happen. Share your results with your friends. Share it with me right here below this podcast. And you'll see that it was never that heavy. It was never going to turn out that way. But again, because your mind is wired to protect and to retract and to worry and to scan for danger, that's why you're feeling the way you are. You deserve peace. You deserve clarity. And both start with interrupting the cycle. My friends, there's more in life to be thankful for. There's more abundance to be thankful for. There's more peace in the world to be enjoyed and to take in. And I know when I say those things, they make you feel uncomfortable. And maybe you don't believe it, but you've got to do these exercises. You've got to do the call to action, or you can just keep worrying. If you need help, reach out, listen to this episode again, write down 2 to 3 things, and I promise you, you will live a better life. Thanks for listening to The Connection. Please subscribe, like, share this with a friend, share this with somebody who's worrying. And until then, let's go.
Thanks for tuning in to The Connection. It's been a fantastic journey exploring stories, insights, and inspirations that bridge our lives. Remember, every connection has the power to transform. Please subscribe, rate, and review. Your feedback keeps us going. In this connected world, let's make meaningful connections that enrich lives. Now, signing off until next time. The Connection. Keep connecting and let's go.